looking, still looking, fires, and is complete. Touchdown. The Bears lead 21-10 in the fourth quarter. Let's go Bears! Let's go Bears! The Eagles win their 5th game in 6 weeks. They beat the Washington Redskins 24-0, and there is life.
Nobody wavered. Everybody kept believing. And, you know, no matter what other people said this year, I mean, you know, no matter how bad it got, you know, everybody didn't quit on each other.
You know, it just shows that if you stick together, you lean on one another, you can do great things. So we got to keep doing that.
You want to be, you know, getting better at this time of the year. And I don't think we've reached our potential. I think next week we're going to play a better football game.
How about them Birds? Not too shabby into the playoffs. Welcome in to Philly Sports Talk. I'm Mark Farzetta. Amy Fadul has New Year's Eve off. Hope she's enjoying it. And on us, with us right now, I should say, is Jason Avant, former Eagles receiver analyst right here for NBC Sports Philadelphia. And Jason, is there any more of a reason to dance than getting into the postseason?
Right, there you go.
You saw Malcolm Jenkins dancing. You saw him stepping in the locker room. Maybe we'll do that just a little bit later.
He was getting it in. He was getting it
in. You see this team going up against the Saints just 7 weeks ago, really, in New Orleans, getting blown out 48-7, and then here they are in the postseason all of a sudden. Did you ever see this coming?
Well, not from the Saints game. The Saints game, they looked really, really bad. And the Eagles put out a post today showing like the heartbreak throughout the season. But when they inserted Nick Foles at quarterback, the team just had new life. And it's a testament to what type of leader he is, and also being able to galvanize the team, get the ball out quickly, help the offensive line out. It was so many different things that he's added to this team, and got these boys into the playoffs. It's only a good thing to be in the playoffs. You're going against a Bears team that they can beat, which is a really tough out, but they can beat them.
It might be obvious because of the way Nick Foles has played, but is he the number one reason? Because the defense has played fairly well as of late as well. And it's not just the shutout that they had yesterday against the Redskins and what amounted to their 4th string quarterback, but really the defense has picked it up as well, forcing turnovers, getting sacks, getting after the quarterback, more so than they had done really throughout the entire first half of the season. So seeing that kick in the high gear, is Nick Foles the number one reason this team turned it around?
100%. He's the number one reason the team, because when you believe in the guy that's at quarterback, the other positions play better. And him being able to get the ball out quick gives the offensive line, you know, some rest, and also they don't have to block as much. The receivers look like Alshon Jeffrey looked like a Pro Bowler again. Earlier in the year, he was on witness protection. We didn't know anything about him, you know, and the same with Nelson Aguilar. Now, the defense has turned it around largely due to having those guys together for a couple of weeks. We had guys off practice squad, guys off, off the street come in, and now they're hearing some of Schwartz's calls. They're getting used to the system, so they're able to play better. But the number one reason for this is Nick Foles and his inspiration, the type of player he is and the type of leader he is.
All right, so then how concerned are you about this bruised rib injury? Doug Peterson came out today, said he's playing, said he's not only playing, he is starting. So how concerned are you about his health?
I'm not concerned at all. I'm not concerned. When you're talking about playoff football, those nicks and bruises, if this was a game that was in the balance and they didn't have a 24-point lead, he would have came back in the game against the Redskins. But since they had a big lead, they kept him out. So when you're talking about the playoffs, these guys are going to play through anything. You have to have a broken rib. You have to have a broken leg, that type of thing in order to be out of a playoff game.
All right, if you look in the AFC, probably the team that most teams don't want to face is the Baltimore Ravens. Looking in the NFC, you could very well say the same thing about the Philadelphia Eagles with the way they've been able to close out the season, winning 5 of 6, winning 3 in a row, which, for what it's worth, is a season high for this Eagles team.
Exactly.
Did the Bears make a mistake, you think, in letting the hot team in the NFC into the playoffs?
A mistake? No. When you're dealing with a divisional opponent like the Vikings, they know you inside and out. They go against you twice a year, every year. So they're able to bring to you wrinkles that maybe other teams are not able to come up with. So I don't think it's a mistake by the Bears at all. And you want to be hot going into the playoffs. So the Bears approach their game trying to win it. You don't want to go in with a sad taste in your mouth or sour taste in your mouth coming off a loss. So the Bears approached the game the correct way, and they went out to win the game, and their backups won the game, later in that ball game. So the Eagles got in because of that, and I don't think it's a mistake by them at all.
All right, well, this Bears team is obviously a pretty solid team, especially especially on the defensive side of things. Offense is not too bad either, but really when you look at defense, fewest points per game allowed in the NFL.
Yes.
Most interceptions in the NFL. Guys like Kyle Fuller being able to take the ball away in the secondary. Where's the chink in the armor? Where is the weakness of the Chicago Bears?
The Bears really don't have a weakness on defense. They really don't. They have the fastest linebacker core in the National Football League with Roquan Smith and Trevathan. These guys can get after it. Defense, they really don't have a weakness. Maybe Prince Amukamara, maybe he's a weakness, but overall they really don't have a weakness. But the thing that the Eagles do really well is get the ball out quick with Nick Foles at quarterback. So even though they have Khalil Mack and they have Akeem Hicks that's getting after the passer, if you can get the ball out quick, it kind of mitigates their pass rush and allow us to make some yards. I think our defense is going to win this ball game for us because I don't think that the Bears offense is that dynamic. Once you take away Jordan Howard and you take away Tyreek Cohen, you have to put the game on Mitch Trubisky, and I don't think he'll go out and win a game for us.
All right, so do you see the Eagles winning this game?
I definitely see the Eagles winning this game, but I think it's a really low-scoring game.
Okay, I agree with I'm with you there. Do you think then the Eagles will capture any of the magic? They'll be able to catch any of the magic they caught at home last year. Will they able to, I don't know, muster that up on the road this season? Can they make a push this postseason?
With this team and the belief and the fire, the passion, the hunger that we're seeing from this team, the sky's the limit with this team. I believe that they have the leader that they want out there at quarterback. I think that the defense is gelling at the right time, and I believe that they're getting pass rush. Fletcher Cox with 3 sacks this last game. When you're getting pass rush like that from an interior lineman, offenses doesn't have a chance. Even the Drew Breeses, even the Goff, those quarterbacks don't have a shot when it comes to direct pass rush coming up the middle.
All right, well, let's jump into our pick and click poll question brought to you by Turnersville Auto Mall. Would you dress Carson Wentz for this game? They talked about earlier today in the press conference with Doug Peterson about Nick Foles being the starting quarterback, Nate Sudfeld for now being the backup quarterback at least, but they haven't IR'd Carson Wentz. Would you consider dressing him on game day?
Well, this is the reason that they didn't IR Carson Wentz is because there was always, if we made the playoffs and Nick Foles gets hurt, who do we have? Sudfeld, we want Carson to possibly be the backup at that moment. That's why they didn't put him on IR. So, yes, I believe that if something goes bad, the rib injury, he gets hit there again, maybe breaks something, Carson Wentz is a much better player than Sudfeld, and he's the franchise quarterback, and he wants to play through this injury, so they're going to give him that opportunity to at that time.
See, my stance is when you look at what Doug Peterson has said about that back injury and how it evolved, and you got to go back to the original press conference before the Rams game where he talked about that injury evolving 6 different times in his press conference. He brought it up himself, those words, that it evolved. Yeah. You would really have to prove to me, the fan base and the media and everybody else, that this injury is not going to get any worse in order to dress him. Because if he really is still the future of this team, I wouldn't want to put him at risk.
Me either. We talked about this earlier in the year when he was hurt and he was coming off. I thought that him coming back too early was part of the problem, and then him being in this situation now, you bringing him back too early from this injury, I think that saying that, okay, maybe we're not looking at him as the future, the future franchise quarterback, but I think they should just give him some rest if it was up to me, but I think that they want him as the backup quarterback in the playoffs.
Well, plus, I mean, come on, Sudsy, Studfeld, perfect game.
Yeah.
I mean, why not?
158 quarterback rating.
There you go. Jason Avant.